ask the question.
All right. So we're sitting here with Monsignor Cassato, who was the pastor of this church. This is Our Lady of
Mount Carmel.
Mount Carmel. I call it Caramel.
Caramel, yeah.
She's very sweet.
Very sweet, very sweet.
And so there's a feast that's been happening here for how many years?
110 years, no, maybe 20 years.
So we're in Williamsburg, Brooklyn.
We're in the center of the new world of Williamsburg, Brooklyn.
Right.
This feast started many years ago when the Nolani, or the people of Nola, moved here to Brooklyn. And they came in here and settled. And they brought a club, and it was called the San Paulino Club, or St. Paulina's Club. And that club ran the feast every year, the Feast of the Gilio. And in the 50s, the priest here in the parish went out and reached out to the club and made it a cooperative feast, joining San Paulino Club with the parish of Our Lady of Mount Carmel. And it became a joint feast of Our Lady of Mount Carmel and San Paulino. The legend of San Paulino, his feast day is June 22nd, that he gave himself as a ransom for a kid in his town. And the Turk rescued him when he was coming back. A Turk brought him back to Nola on a boat. And the people came down the side of the mountain, because Nola is a seaport city, with lilies in their hand, or Gilio in Italian. And they came down and it looked like one giant lily, Gilio, and they put San Paulino on the top, honoring him. So this is the story that basically is out there about the feast of San Paulino. It is joined now with the feast of Our Lady of Mount Carmel. So that's why it runs from June and it goes into July.
So July 16th is
The Feast of Our Lady.
That's Our Lady.
Yeah, June 22nd is San Paulino, which is the beginning of summer.
And so this happens here now for 120 years?
Oh, at least. It's the history. It's tied to the parish. When the Italian immigrants came, they weren't welcomed in the Irish churches, so they came and established this parish as an Italian parish, and basically it serves the needs of Italian immigrants at that time.
Oh, that's amazing. So this is a history that goes back to the beginning of Brooklyn.
Yes.
And Williamsburg, before Williamsburg was cool, and before the hipsters were
Before the hipsters, yeah. I mean, the hipsters only moved in since 2001 or 2000. They started coming.
Now, this is a new church also.
Yeah.
The original church, Mount Carmel, they had to knock it down because of the goannas.
Right. They built, Robert Moses in his design had an expressway. He had a choice of putting it on the water, as they did it with the FDR, or putting it through the middle of Brooklyn. He decided Brooklyn was an outer borough, and he put it right through the middle of Brooklyn. And the Kosciuszko Bridge could have went along the periphery, went a highway like the FDR, but then it wound up going right through the middle of Brooklyn. There were 3 churches on the route, and the 3 churches were destroyed. This church here of Our Lady of Mount Carmel was a huge basilica. There's a place called Mount Carmel Square right on the corner here, where you might park. And you'll see an image of the original church, which was huge. You could hold 1,000 people.
Oh, wow.
And it was built in 1939. It was destroyed in 1949. It was open for 10 years, and they destroyed it and put the BQE right through the middle of Brooklyn. They took 2 other churches down a little further from here, but that's really what happened. And this church was built in the 50s because the people did not want to give up their parish. That building next door was the convent, and they actually had mass in the basement for all those years, and the people insisted they want a church, they want a church, they want a church, and they finally, the bishop gave them permission to build another church.
And what did the city pay for the church?
The city paid $3 million for the 3 churches, and the bishop got $3 million. He gave back here to the parish $50,000 to rebuild the new church. You understand that? That's called politics.
That's right. That's it. That's great. Well, thank you for that.
Quite well.
All that
I know the history well here.
Brooklyn history. Monsignor Cassato, thank you.